Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome back to part 7 of What If Goku Could Spam Zenkai Boost. Last time we left off on a beautiful little, should I say cliffhanger? It wasn't really a cliffhanger, but it was nice, isn't it? But if you guys are enjoying this series, I just want to let you guys know the next part will be the final part, so please hit that like goal so I can get out even sooner than needed. And yeah, comment down below what other series you want to see. And yeah guys, I'm not going to drag this into too much, so other than that guys, remember, hit that like button, subscribe, comment down below what else you want to see, and don't forget, hit the notification bell. Other than that guys, let's get straight into the video. As Whis says this, a bright light shoots down from the sky, and a man who looks similar to Whis but shorter, with an orange triangle on his clothes, steps out. Although Goku can't feel any power from him, he can tell just by the pressure he is emitting that this guy is strong. As such, he got into a fighting stance, knowing it would not be an easy fight. But when he looked towards Goten was bowing, and he said, "Hello master," and then he looked at Whis, who smiled and said, "Hello father." Goku paused for a second and immediately screamed, "Huh?" When he realized what was happening, he immediately jumped out of his fighting stance and apologized. But then he turned to Goten and whispered, "What do you mean master?" That's when the Grand Priest said, "I can explain that. You see Goku, when everyone was training with Whis, Whis came to me to inform me about your son's power and yours, especially about how one of my sons decided to be absorbed by your son. Upon hearing this, I asked for Goten to be brought to me so I could, for one, make sure that he was not at risk, and to also make sure that my son did not do this by accident and he was safe. Upon seeing both our children were safe, I offered to train Goten so he could understand his power better and how to use it. This process would normally take decades, at minimum, to be able to even learn how to activate his power, but within a couple months, not only did he learn how to activate it, he began to use his power at the levels of angels in training. Hearing this, Goku picks Goten up and smiles and says, "That's my boy, you're going to be stronger than me one day." The Grand Priest laughs and says, "I wouldn't be too sure about that, Goku. The reason I'm here actually isn't to see Goten, but to see you." Goku gets a bit confused and says, "For me? What did I do?" The Grand Priest laughs and says, "Worry not Goku, you haven't done anything bad. I'm here simply due to the miracle of your assistance. When I first heard of you from Whis, I thought he must have been exaggerating. There's no way a mortal can grow this strong, this quickly. But from watching you for these past few weeks, I can see you're actually incredible. Your ability to grow is outstanding. It's something that I myself am jealous of. In a different universe, there is one who has surpassed the god of destruction in strength, but you, Goku, have surpassed your angel, and soon you will seem to be surpassing me." Goku at first laughs, but then he realizes what the Grand Priest says and yells, "Wait, hold on, what do you mean other universes?" The Grand Priest laughs and says there are 12 universes in total. Goku's eyes begin to light up and says, I want to fight him." The Grand Priest laughs saying, "We can discuss that another time. But there's someone very important who wants to meet you." Goku's curious and says, "Someone more important than you? Who?" The Grand Priest replies and says, "Yeah, they're the most important person in the multiverse. The Omni King, the ruler of all, wants to meet you." Hearing this, Beerus immediately knee slides in front of the Grand Priest and says, "Please my lord, I beg you to reconsider. If Goku annoys him, every one of us will die." The Grand Priest laughs and says, "Beerus, calm down. The Omni King has sworn no one will be erased, and I can promise you I will do all within my power to stop him if he goes back on that promise." Hearing this, Beerus turns around and grabs Goku by his clothes and says, "Listen, Saiyan, the Omni King is unlike anyone you have ever met. Do not challenge him. Do not try to fight him." Goku goes, "Aww, but he sounds really strong, please." Beerus' face turns serious and says, "Goku, please, I'm asking you as a friend, do not try to fight him. He could erase everything and everyone was just a fault." Seeing that Beerus is actually serious, Goku sighs and says, "Fine, I promise I won't try to fight him." And as such, Goku, Burst, Whis and the Grand Priest leave to head towards Zeno's palace. When they arrive, they are met by Zeno's guards who glare at Goku. Goku, not being one to be bitched, glares back, releasing a bit of his power, and they begin to sweat and let him past. They finally reach the main room, and Goku's trying to look past Whis to see the Omni King, but he can't see him anywhere. And that's when he hears a squeaky voice that says, "Hello," and look down to see the Omni King. At first Goku thought they was just playing a trick on him, but once he realised they wasn't, Goku laughed and said, "Hey there, I'm Goku," and put his hand out. Zeno's guards watching this began to get agitated, but Zeno was just confused, or Zeno I mean. Zeno was just confused and does the same thing and places his hand into Goku's. Goku began to shake his hand, causing Zeno to fly up and down. Zeno began to laugh, enjoying this, but his guards had enough of this and zoomed towards Goku, throwing a punch, but it just hit Goku's barrier. While still holding on to Zeno, Goku turned and hit them all faster than anyone could react, and this in fact knocked them out. The Grand Priest immediately apologises for this, but Goku just laughs it off. However, Zeno glared at them and said, "You're annoying me, my new friend. Bye bye," as both of the guards were instantly erased. Seeing this, Goku realised what Beerus meant by "don't try to fight him." Zeno then turns to Goku and says, "You're funny, let's be friends." Goku, always happy to make a new friend, smiles and says, "Sure, do you mind if I call you Zenny?" Zeno just then laughs and apologises for this incident and says, "What can I do to make it up to you? Ask for anything, nothing is out of my reach." Hearing this, Goku's eyes light up at the opportunity, and he says he wants to fight the strongest people from the other universes. Zeno thinks about this for a moment and says, "That sounds fun," and turns to the Grand Priest and says, "Arrange it, please." The Grand Priest bows and says, "Of course, Zeno-sama." That is when Whis' staff lights up and he says, "Oh, it's from Bulma," and begins to play the message. As Bulma's face appears, Goku says, "What's the matter, Bulma?" But Bulma yells down the phone and says, It's Trunks! He just appeared and he's hurt." Goku says, What do you mean he's just appeared? He lives with you." Bulma yells, "No, you with the Trunks from the future." Hearing this, Goku immediately understands what's going on and understands it's urgent and says he needs to get back. Intrigued by the future part, the Grand Priest offers to take them back, and as such, they all appear there instantly. Goku sees the blue-haired Trunks laying on the ground severely injured. He runs over and says, "Phew, he's still alive." Vegeta yells, "Kakarot, we're out of senzu beans." Hearing this, Goku goes, "Damn, that's a problem, but nothing I can't fix." Goku places his hand over Trunks and closes his eyes, but just before his eyes close, Vegeta sees that Goku's eyes glowed silver for a second and says to himself, "What in the hell was that?" A light begins to glow from Goku's hand and Trunks' injuries begin to heal, but suddenly a dark aura explodes from Trunks. Goku says, "Damn it, he was attacked with God Ki, but it's not normal. It's different than usual, it's going to be annoying to heal him." That's when Goten walks over and his halo appears around his neck as he activates his powers. His angelic ki, if you may call it, and instantly heals all of Trunks' injuries, dispelling the evil aura. Goku looks at Goten shocked, and the Grand Priest says, "Excellent, Goten, exactly how I taught you." After a few minutes, Trunks wakes up and he looks around saying, "Thank God I made it." But then he looks at Goku and immediately turns Super Saiyan 2 and rushes at Goku swinging his sword. But Goku easily dodges it and says, "Whoa, calm down, Trunks." But Trunks doesn't listen and screams, "I'll kill you, Black." Goku, now having enough of this, raises his hand and uses his ki, forcing Trunks to stop like he did to Broly, and says, "Hey now, that's just racist." Hearing this joke from Goku, Trunks realises who he is immediately and apologises and explains what's going on. Trunks says, "In my timeline, there's someone who looks just like you. It's as if they stole your body." Trunks goes quiet and Bulma grabs his face and hugs him, saying, "It's okay, you can say I'm here for you." Trunks immediately begins to bawl out in tears and yelled, He killed you, Mom, right in front of me, and I couldn't do anything to stop him." Hearing this, pure destroyer ki began to pour out of Vegeta in rage, and he yells, "And what? He killed your mother and you decided to run away? Where's your Saiyan pride, goddammit?" Hearing this, Trunks winces as he knows his father is right, but Bulma stood up and slapped him around his face and said, "Why don't you go fight him then? He's been through enough, stop it." Vegeta looks away. He knows Bulma's half right. It wasn't the time to say that to him. That's when the Grand Priest steps in and says, "I'm sorry to interrupt, but did you say you're from the future?" Trunks, confused by who this is, says, "Yes I am, but who are you?" Goku explains who he is and Trunks is amazed, but the Grand Priest sighs and says, "Time travel without permission is a very serious crime, punishable by death." The Grand Priest steps towards Trunks, but Vegeta appears in front of him with a very serious look on his face and yells, "Step away from my son." The Grand Priest, confused, said, "If you let me finish," but due to the seriousness of the situation of someone having Goku's body, I'll pretend I saw nothing. So if you move out the way, I would like to check your son's memory to confirm his story. As he says this, a black pool opens up in the sky, and Trunks yells, It's him! I would recognize his energy anywhere." As he says this, Goku Black steps out of the portal with a massive grin on his face, staring at Trunks. But when he looks at Goku, the grin disappears. As they're staring off, the Grand Priest says, "This is perfect. I cannot directly intervene in mortal affairs, but if you can manage to subdue him even for a few moments, I'll be able to read all his memories and know exactly who he is and what his plans are." As he says this, Goku flies up to face him and gets face to face and says, "Who are you?" Goku Black replies, "I'm you, but better," and transforms into Super Saiyan Rose. To respond, Goku goes to Super Saiyan Blue and the fight begins. They both seem evenly matched until Goku uses a Zenkai boost and laughs, saying, "Nothing beats the original, mate." Goku Black says, "Is that so?" as he Zenkai boosts himself, but it was an even greater increase in Goku's. Goku's heart drops and mutters, "How?" Goku Black laughs and says, "It's because my god ki is purer than yours, you puny mortal." But as he says this, Vegeta flies up and tells Goku this is his fight. Goku tries to argue, but then Vegeta turns to him with his eyes glowing yellow and yells, "He killed my wife." Hearing this, Goku immediately backs down and Vegeta stares at Goku Black. Vegeta yells, "Do you know who I am?" Goku Black laughs and says, "Yes, you're Vegeta, the prince of all Saiyans, and you're unbelievably weak, even weaker than Goku, and you was far easier to kill than he was. Why do you think you have any hope to be able to fight against me?" Vegeta smirks and says, "Is that so? But there's one thing you're forgetting." Goku Black curious says, "What is that?" Purple Destroyer aura surrounds Vegeta, striking Goku Black as Vegeta screams, "You killed my Bulma!" as power explodes from Vegeta as he enters Ultra Ego. This catches Goku Black off guard as the Vegeta he knew could never do this, and the fight begins. Vegeta was beating the absolute shit out of Goku Black, but then Goku Black Zenkai boost and it seemed like he gained the upper hand, but as soon as he did, Vegeta just roared even louder and began to whip his ass again. Goku Black yelled, "How are you so strong?" and Vegeta just laughed and said, "Never underestimate the power of a Saiyan elite," as he roared and punches Goku Black in the stomach, and appeared behind him, putting him in a similar hold to what Goku did to Raditz. Goku Black tried to get out of it, but couldn't. He then snapped his Zenkai boost in, hoping to break out of it, but then he yelled, "Why isn't my power increasing?" That's when he realised what was going on, as he turned around to see Vegeta's aura was basically gone, as if it was being absorbed by something else. Vegeta laughs and says, "I've been using my destroyer key to destroy your powers it generates." And as he says this, the Grand Priest appears in front of him, placing his thumb on Goku's black head, and instantly knew everything. As he'd done this, Goku Black managed to break free from Vegeta's hold, but got sucked back into the portal that he came from. Immediately they all went back down to the ground, and Grand Priest for once looked angry. He explained that a Supreme Kai is in training known as Zamasu has gone rogue and stole Goku's body and killed his family, and then began to attempt to kill all the mortals in his timeline. Hearing this, Goku was angry but still listened. He turned to Beerus and said, the Grand Priest turned to Beerus and said, "Do your job, Destroyer." Hearing this, Whis and Beerus immediately left to go and dispose of the Supreme Kai, just like in canon. The Grand Priest then says, "I can't intervene in mortal affairs, but this is different. Due to Supreme Kai being the culprit, I can offer you some help. I cannot join you in the fight, but I can take you to the correct timeline so you can fight yourself." Goku looks at Vegeta and Trunks and they all say, "Let's go." When they arrive at the timeline, they are shocked at what they see. Everything is destroyed. Goku, remembering what Black did to his family, clenches his fist, and that's when they hear an explosion and turn to see Goku Black and a green guy. He instantly flies over and yells, "So you must be Zamasu." Zamasu laughs and says, "So what? You're just a pitiful mortal, how dare you say my name?" As he says this, Vegeta appears in front of him in his ultra ego form and punches him so hard in the gut that his fist tore through his stomach. Vegeta just says, "Too easy." That was until the hole in Zamasu instantly healed and he punched Vegeta. Vegeta smirks and says, "You're gonna be a fun boxing bag," and continues to fight. Goku's now staring down Black as they both transform, Goku going Super Saiyan Blue and Black going Super Saiyan Rose. And the fight began. There was evenly matched until they started Zenkai boosting. From anyone else's perspective, this would be a very confusing fight as both power levels would just skyrocket one after another. But it was clear that Black was slowly gaining an advantage every time, with the gap slowly growing. That's when Goku decided to change his strategy and began to meditate the same way he did on Beerus' planet while training. Goku's power began to skyrocket and Black couldn't break through the force field. He rushed at Goku for a punch after punch, but his shield was just too strong. He even activated his key sword, but it was still useless. Goku's power level was now reaching the Grand Priestess level and was still skyrocketing. Goku Black was now getting nervous, and finally Goku stopped meditating and just stared at Goku Black, instantly appearing in front of him, hitting him in every way imaginable. And Black couldn't do nothing about it. No matter how much he Zenkai boost, he couldn't catch up. It was pointless. Whereas with Vegeta, he was having a similar problem. No matter how many times he killed Zamasu, he wouldn't die, until eventually Vegeta laughed and just yelled, "Enough," raising his hand. Vegeta, remembering all his training with Beerus, gathered as much Ghostrider as he could and yelled, "Hakai!" Zamasu began to scream as his arm began to be erased by Hakai, and at the same time Goku Black was being pummeled into the ground. Zamasu yells, "Black, it's now or never," as he chucks in one of his earrings. Goku Black put it on and the two slammed together. The entire universe began to shake from the power emitted by this fusion. Both Goku and Vegeta fell to their knees, feeling nauseous from the pure power washing over them. Goku barely managed to look up, and what he saw horrified him. The two had fused perfectly to create merged Zamasu, the perfect mixture between divine ki and a Saiyan body. The halo above their head was proof of their true divinity. Vegeta wasn't going to give up, as he rushed headfirst towards Zamasu using his full power. Vegeta covered his fists in as much ki as possible. Before he could even get close, he was zapped by the halo. Vegeta flies back next to Goku as he muttered, he's too strong." Merged Zamasu began to laugh and said, if you think that's too strong, just wait till you feel my true power." As he says this, Merged Zamasu uses the Zenkai boost, and it was a 50,000 times multiplier. The sudden increase in power literally made Goku throw up and fall to one knee. Zamasu began to rant and say, "How does it feel for you puny mortals to be in the presence of a god? This is a power that you could not even dream of achieving, and I did it with ease. How does it feel, Saiyan, to know you'll be nothing? How to know I killed all those dear to you, and you can do nothing but grovel at my feet?" It goes silent for a second until Goku begins laughing extremely loud. Zamasu yells, "What's so funny, Saiyan?" Goku just continues to laugh until he says, "The thing is, Zamasu, I have a really bad habit of holding it back so my opponent show me their full power, and this time I let it go a bit too far." Zamasu yells, "What do you mean?" Goku glares at him and says, "I haven't even begun to tap into my full power." Goku lowers his head and heat begins to radiate from his body and expand, creating an aura of pure energy and heat. Zamasu's legs begin to shake as he mutters, his power, it won't stop growing." Goku's eyes begin to glow silver as his hair begins to flow as if the wind was blowing through it, and then it all stops. The world goes silent, and power explodes from Goku as his hair turns white. This time it's not the universe shaking, it's the multiverse. Even Zeno's palace in a completely different subspace is shaking. Zamasu yells, How is a puny mortal so strong?" Mimicking Zamasu, Goku says, "If you think I'm strong now, then just wait till you feel my true power." And the Zenkai boost, and it's a 10 million times power boost. The amount of power causes Zamasu's perfect fusion to become unstable as his halo begins to fade. Zamasu yells, "I've had enough of this," and he rushes at Goku. Before he knows it, Goku's fist is in his gut. Zamasu coughs up blood and gets blown away. He stumbles to his feet and said, "How? I'm meant to be immortal." That's when Zamasu looked closer and saw Goku's hands covered in a purple glowing aura and yells, "No, that's impossible." Goku laughs and says, "I used the strike key in that attack to test the theory, and I'm glad I did. That just burned away some of your immortality, didn't it?" Zamasu's face is covered in pure fear as Goku grins and says, "I wonder how many of these attacks you can take from a puny mortal just like me." Zamasu roars like an animal, but Goku's foot appears in his face and bounces off him and ducks beneath him and uppercuts his jaw. For the next couple of minutes, Goku just bodies Zamasu with attack after attack after attack. Zamasu wasn't even able to get a simple even flick off on Goku, until eventually Zamasu is the one on his knees with blood pouring out his mouth, eyes, ears, nose, as he spits out blood, yelling, "How dare a puny mortal reduce me to this state? I'll kill you." Goku takes a deep breath and exhales and says, "That should be your immortality basically gone," and begins to charge up Kamehameha, and it glows purple. Zamasu yells, "No, wait, please." But that's when Goku remembers something and calls Trunks over and say, "Hey, he isn't mine to kill, it's your choice." Hearing this, Trunks glares at Zamasu and draws his sword. That's when Vegeta limps over and says, "Wait, let me see your sword." Vegeta's purple hair fades as all of his remaining ki is concentrated in his hand, and then he imbues it into Trunks' sword, making it turn purple. And then he says, "Make me proud, my son." Trunks closes his eyes and remembers everything that Goku Black did to him, and he explodes into Super Saiyan 2. His purple sword begins to glow and resonate with him. Trunks lets out a monstrous roar as he enters a new form, Destroyer Super Saiyan Rage. Imbued with his new form and the power from his father, Trunks rushes at Zamasu and cuts off his limbs in an instant, leaving a torso and a head only. Zamasu screams and begs for mercy, but Trunks stabs his sword into Zamasu's chest and glares at him as the destroyer key begins to slowly erase Zamasu and yells, "Where was the mercy for my mother when you killed her with no remorse?" Zamasu began to beg and plead and says, "He was sorry, please just spare him, he's seen the error of his ways." But Trunks just laughs as he infuses all of his power into his sword, completely erasing Zamasu, and he falls to his knee looking to the sky crying and says, I did it, Mom. I finally did it. I avenged you." Anyway guys, if you did enjoy that, make sure you share with your friends, family, like, subscribe, comment down below. Tell me what else you want to see. Remember, next part will be the final part. And yeah guys, what did you think of this one? I'm liking the way this is story going, and yes, I'm going to make a movie out of it. But other than that guys, I ain't going to drag out this thing for too long because I'm tired and I need some beauty sleep. So other than that guys, I will see you lot in another lifetime. Peace out. Bye.